All right, citizens' input on any agenda item. I see some citizens. State your name, please, for the record.
I'm Richard Russell, live in Port Charlotte, Florida, and I am going to speak in regards to the election of our commissioners. In 2016, I noticed you had something in there about whether you're going to do it by district or by county-wide. My feelings are they need to be elected by district. That way each district knows the person and can control who is representing them. When it's county-wide, a district can have somebody running who's got the favoritism of the other 4 districts, but not their own home district, and they end up inheriting a member that they really don't appreciate and doesn't stand up for them. If they're elected by the district, then the commissioner's attention should be focused on his district primarily and secondarily on the county. Whereas if they're county-wide, they are only concerned about the county and may not be so, may not find that their district be that important that they want to spend any time and focus on it. So that's my position on that. But I do want to make one other comment. In the minutes we reviewed, there was nothing in there pertaining to water and the future of our water in Charlotte County and the impact of outside agencies that will be, if we don't stop them in 2023, going to be that much more destructive to our water, our harbor, our livelihood, and our marine life. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Tim Ritchie, and I'm a resident of Punta Gorda Isles in Charlotte County, Florida. I am our Citizen Water Czar. I'm also the founder and president of March Against Mosaic. In reading through all of this, I didn't see anything about water quality. But this here is a Florida Department Environmental Protection NPDES permit. Now, if none of you have ever read one of these, I'd highly recommend you go look up the Mosaic Bartow Chemical Plant NPDES permit. This here is the renewal and modification of it. Last year in May, I filed a lawsuit against Mosaic and FDEP within 2 days of them getting this permit filed. Previously, they were discharging, and this is in this book here, this up to 2.6 million gallons of blended acidic radioactive wastewater. This is what it looks like. This is a clay settling area, and this is what Mosaic wants to put 15 miles from this building in Pine Level in Horse Creek. This is coming in 2023. Here's a map of it. Square is where they want to put it. We're all down here. Now, we've been reading in the newspaper about our harbor and our rivers. And what have they been reporting? That they're in poor condition. That CNEP finally reported in 2018 we had 20,000 acres. Now we have 15,000 acres. There was a spill in 71, a clay settling area. 90% of the river was as white as this paper. 90% of all of the fish and wildlife was killed. There was a spill in 67. I would like you to put water quality number 1. That is the future for our children. It is imperative. I've been before the commissioners for 3 years. I've requested money, put in an account. I don't want the money. We need to core sample the river. And we need these core sampling of the Peace River, Myakka, and Charlotte Harbor. Mosaic is 60, 70, 85 miles up our river. They are contaminating the Myakka River from the Hardy County mines. They are discharging to Horse Creek. Manatee County is discharging. One last thing before I stop.
3 minutes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Hello?
State your name for the record, please, sir.
William Pitch from Punta Gorda. I'm here today to present a Charlotte County Right to Clean Water Charter Amendment proposal to be put on the ballot. Orange County passed a similar amendment in 2020 with 89% of the vote. This amendment is fully customizable, so this will be a draft, and the commission can tweak it to Charlotte County's needs and any legal concerns, etc. This is the right time in history at our centennial to ensure quality of water, and this is a great way to do it through our individual and collective rights as a county, and it is a right, in fact, so we need to get ahead of the curve on that. Charlotte water is heavily impaired, according to our water quality manager, Mr. Brandon Moody, in his October report to the commission. State SB 712 was a preemption by the legislature against counties passing rights for water and wildlife. And in fact, this proposal, SB 712 does not reach this proposal. This is purely a human right, a personal right, individual right, constitutional right. Corporate entities possess overwhelming financial power and assigned rights, which effectively override ours as human beings and citizens. The right to clean water provides us with the tools to complete our basic inherent God-given rights of life, redress, liberty, pursuit, and those of our unborn posterity, so that we can pass clean water and our economy, our way of life, our quality of life on to them. And I just want to say, in this package, you'll find my little draft of my outline. There is the actual proposed draft amendment on the right, Orange County's passed amendment on the left, and November 10th, everybody was talking about, kind of wrapped around this, that getting the word out so people would come to this meeting, so I put kind of a draft open letter about that in here as well. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Ted Eamon. I live in Murdoch. I'm a candidate for Charlotte County Commissioner in 2022. Margot Cleveland wrote in The Federalist in 2021, "Can a country survive when it funds a sprawling federal bureaucracy? So large, decisions are detached from the needs of everyday Americans. When self-interest governs decisions and politicians become profiteers." Now you can insert county government instead of federal for that. Now I'm going to apologize if any of you have adult children living with you, so I'm going to give you my apology up front. But no sane and responsible parent continues to encourage adult children to be continually dependent on them. And I said I apologize if that pertains to any of you. And that has to do with the charter. I would like to see section 1.3 amended a little differently. It says basically the relationship to municipal ordinances. Municipal ordinance shall prevail over county ordinances. Fine, to the extent there's some exclusions. I would actually like to see the adult in the room, the county, actually start promoting that the children grow up and leave the home. And that underscores what Mr. Russell said. I'd like to go further than Mr. Russell by bringing, actually have, finally, a talk about sustainability. Recently, the governor and the legislature changed the law regarding impact fees. And I noticed that the excuse came out immediately. The commissioners held a workshop, and they dragged out the same excuse that they've been bringing out for God long, decades, with at least 25 typographical errors. And I hope someday somebody will finally take this excuse, which I have to read every several years, and proofread it. It states, Charlotte County is a large county over 650 square miles, consisting of only one municipality. Approximately 90% of the county's population needs are in the unincorporated areas. Although this is not unique to Florida, blah, blah, blah. Multiple urban and suburban areas exist in the county where citizens require city-level services provided at a county level. Much of the county was pre-plated and sold in the 1950s with minimal consideration for infrastructure needed to support the growth. Well, guess what? That hasn't changed. And I want to encourage you to learn. This year is our centennial year. We broke from DeSoto County in a record number of years. We were only party of DeSoto County for 36 years. Why? Because DeSoto County was so big they couldn't address our infrastructure. And we got so pissed that people down here along Charlotte Harbor finally said, screw it, we're going to create our own county. And we got our infrastructure. And that's how all these places, let's look at the population of Murdoch. Right now, 89,326. Compare that to the 19,000 that live in Punta Gorda, the only. And then City of Port Charlotte, 67. Thank you.
My name is Cindy King, and I'm a resident of Charlotte County. I live in Gulf Cove. And I just would like to suggest that the members of this committee in the future would be elected. I believe right now they're appointed, and I think it would be nice if you all were elected by voters of Charlotte County. And I also would like to agree with Bill? It was Mr. Russell, that the county commissioners, when you're running in a district, you should be a resident of that district. That's it.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for giving me an opportunity to speak. Sorry I was a little tardy coming
State your
in.
name for the record.
My name is Dave Kalin, resident of Charlotte County. I've reviewed quite a few of the other charter review requests over the past few meetings, and I do support a number of those, but one that I would like to bring forward to this board, one that's near and dear to me as a candidate for commissioner, but is a term limits. We have term limits at the State House. That's going to allow fresh blood roughly every 3 terms to come into this office, so you've got new ideas invigorating some of the economy that may stagnate from time to time with those that have been longtime politicians within this county. So I would promote that this board push forward with a term limit of minimum 3 terms for county commissioner offices. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
As you know, my name is Dave Castlering. I think you've met me before. I'd just like to restate some of the suggestions I made really quickly. I suggested a county people's constitution already, and it did include the right to clean water or the right to good water in it, but that would be neat to separate it as well and have it as a separate issue. Single-member districts I also proposed. I'll go over a few of those ideas if I have some time. An elected charter review member, I mentioned that to some board members. I can't recall if I actually presented that or not, but I'm also for that for sure. And also the limitations on the power and authority granted to the county attorney and the county administrator. Right at the moment, we have a queen for the county attorney. She can write any rules she wants, and it's just, there's no accountability there, and that needs to stop. I've already heard talk of one of the board members mentioned they talked to one of the county commissioners about single-member districts, and I believe that was the same one I heard, and his excuse was he was in an area where it didn't work. But a bunch of the counties in Florida already have that. It works fine, including Sarasota. So it works fine in other places. That's a moot argument that it just didn't work in one place with some extra corrupt politicians in that area. Again, it's related to how honest or how corrupt the public officials are in the area up to a point. It's better to, there's much more chance for any kind of a grassroots candidate to possibly win with single-member districts. There's all kinds of other arguments that I can give if I have time, but elected charter review members. I don't think I proposed this or anyone else did this year. We need to lessen the requirements for citizens-led initiatives. If I'm correct, there might have been one in the entire history of the county that went through. It's obviously way too high. You could limit it a little bit at each time, maybe in this year, if nothing happened, maybe in 6 years, until something happens. You know, you can work that out. Something needs to happen though, and citizens need to be able to propose a few amendments once in a while, I think. This is my single-member districts. These are some of my arguments since I have a little bit of time. I'll re-quote some of those. Our county's growing. We got 153,000 people. Big money rules with countywide elections. Extremely expensive mail-outs and advertisements, many times sent out by PACs, are currently the major contributing factor to elections in this county. Anyone that runs needs to raise a whole lot of money, because if you don't have a mail-out, you're probably not going to win. I think they're about 30 grand or so for one, and some of these people get two. Higher percentage of voters can get to see who they're actually voting for, which was kind of mentioned, face-to-face. They can know who their person is. The candidates can visit a much larger portion of voters door-to-door of their area, and the cost for mail-outs and other things per candidate is lowered by 80%. Yes, they can say the overall expense raises more, but each candidate, it's much lower expense. And again, a grassroots candidate has a chance. Am I three? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.